Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. We're back again for another commentary. I'm joined once again by Isaac,
Hi, everybody.
and we're doing Batman Forever this week. So,
Mhm.
without further ado,
If you'd like to sync this up with your own Blu-ray copy of Batman Forever, put the timestamp to 0 and press play in 3, 2, 1, go. This is
we're
the first of the first time we have, yep,
yeah
morphing into the Bat
in
logo.
the '90s morph effect.
Yeah. Do these credits that whoosh past the screen that you see of the cast members, it reminds me a lot of Superman the movie.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It immediately sort of goes that this is a more colourful film with the multicolored names and
Yeah.
stuff.
Blue, purple, green. Surprised with how big a star Jim Carrey was, he didn't get top billing like Jack Nicholson did.
Yeah, it's surprising. You'd think because this came out a year after 1994, didn't it? So this was huge for him because
Mm.
1994 we had The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura. It was just
He was at the height of his
yeah,
powers.
huge year for him
hmm He's kind of
forever.
disappeared now.
Yeah, he still does some things occasionally, but he sort of
Yeah. Yeah, not to say he doesn't still act, but you just don't hear from him as much anymore, and it's
yeah.
kind of a shame. 'Cause I think later in his career, he's now done a bit more serious films.
Yeah, he went through a phase like he did the Truman Show in the late '90s, and that was quite a serious film. And then he just sort of went into doing much more serious work.
hmm And because Batman Returns didn't have a toy deal with McDonald's, let's open it
I'll go drive through.
with a McDonald's joke.
I
So supposedly in the extended cut, you actually see him go to McDonald's.
well, there was some TV adverts at the time, wasn't there? There were adverts that used that clip for the fast
Yeah, there
food
was. I've seen
promotion.
them.
Yeah, and there was one
Yeah,
with the Coca Cola as well. Or maybe that was for the second one.
yeah.
One of these films has a Coca Cola advert where Batman goes to pick up a Coca Cola.
Hmm.
So this first scene with Two Face, I really like. I think this is great.
Yeah, I do like his yeah, because he's not shouting like an idiot. He's
Yeah,
actually being quiet.
he's quite creepy, and when he gets up in the guard's face and stuff, this it lures you into a false sense of security that this Two Face is going to be super serious and sinister, but
Yeah.
that quickly goes out the window. But as I say, I really like this first scene.
Mm. Like, I don't know who it was, because Tommy Lee Jones on paper sounds like he'd be the perfect
Yeah,
Two-Face.
yeah,
But I don't know whether to blame the script or the performance because the script's pretty generic, but he just shouts every single line. Is he?
yeah.
Because I think because when he saw Jim Carrey, like the color went from his face, according to him. He hugged him and went, "I hate
Yeah,
you. I can't sanction your
I
buffoonery."
can't sanction your buffoonery. That is a line for the
Oh
ages.
God. hmm
I think it's a bit of both because I think there's an interview somewhere where Tommy Lee Jones said that he based his performance on when you see in comic books villains you often see going ha 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 ha. He based
Oh
Yeah, that's
right.
what he based his performance off. So he based his performance off a stereotype essentially.
hmm
So it's probably a bit of both.
With all these bright colors, we've moved from the industrial gothic look of Batman from the 80s into the intoxicating psychedelic 90s.
Yes, yeah.
I'd say this, along with Disney's Hercules, is they're probably the most 90s movies ever made.
Oh,
And Space
probably.
Jam.
Oh god, yeah, Space Jam is. I think this is this is most definitely an instant reaction to Batman Returns, and you can see it in every level of it, really. But
you're the police. Do something.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so. In these 4 films, he's such an incompetent idiot.
Yeah, he is. I will say though, I don't think this is as much of a departure tonally. Like, obviously aesthetically it's super different, but
yeah, because Gotham is now a rainbow city.
Yeah,
which I don't mind, because if you read comics, they're bright and colourful.
Yeah, they are.
It's more or less the comic book come to life.
Yeah, exactly. I and there are parts later where we see cars and stuff, and they're very sort of 30s, 40s inspired. So I quite like the aesthetic, but even just tonally as well, like what we see later is still quite dark, and it's not as much of a departure as I think sometimes people think it is.
Also, why do those guns have lights on them?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? Oh yeah, produced by Tim Burton.
Yes.
That's debatable. He didn't do anything for the final product. It's literally in-name only producer.
Basically, yeah. But even so, even though he didn't really do much, I do still kind of think that you can kind of feel his touch on this a bit in the sort of more operatic moments. So we're getting, I guess...
I will say this opening action scene is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, full disclosure, this was probably my favourite Batman film when I was a kid, because it's colourful and it's fun, and even Batman and Robin as well I leant towards, just because when you're a kid it is so flashy and fun, and... And I guess we should probably talk about the score now, because it is very different from Danny Elfman's work. What do you think of Elliot Goldenthal and his score?
I do like his score, but it's just Danny Elfman's theme is the definitive Batman theme.
Yes.
I mean, this theme, though, you can hum, and, when I hear it, you do think Batman slowly running down the street fighting crime.
Absolutely.
Oh, God, it's this guy.
Oh, yeah. It's boiling acid!
I wonder if he's related to that kid who, in Troll 2, says, "They're eating her, and then they're going to eat me."
Oh my god!
Oh no! Yeah, boiling acid. How does that make it worse? Yeah. Acid still kills you.
It's still acid. Yeah. It's just... I mean, we'll get to there later, but I love the extra.
Plus, I love how the inside of the safe is bright colours.
Oh yeah, everything's brightly coloured in this. It's nuts.
Heck, Two-Face's makeup looks like a chewed-up starburst.
Yeah, and it caused so... Because I mentioned on the previous 2 commentaries, this was censored in the UK quite heavily, and most of it was to do with Two-Face, and it's like... It is just a bloke with a half-purple face. It's not...
Yeah, plus it's perfectly in half. It's more or less what you'd see in the Adam West show if they did do Two-Face. Oh no, it's boiling acid! I'd let him die. Oh, we've also got the Batman, yeah!
Yeah, I was going to say later on behind Nicole Kidman, Batman, yeah! Oh, it's brilliant.
One detail I do like about Two-Face's thugs is the masks that they wear, the red and black. You actually see that in the Arkham games, because they wear half black and half white suits. Yeah,
I like that. It's a cool... detail.
Well, even in the Arkham games, particularly Arkham Knight, when you explore Gotham, there's a lot of bright neon signs, which is a reference to probably the Schumacher films.
Yeah, absolutely. The Arkham games sort of take inspiration from everything, really, and the neon aspects of that are definitely Schumacher-esque.
Despite these films having quite an infamous reputation, Warner Brothers, they admit they exist, because, I mean, I've not been to San Diego Comic-Con, but I've seen the Schumacher video we mentioned last time.
Yes.
And they show suits from all the Batman films,
Yeah,
including Val Kilmer's suit, the
everything.
one he
Yeah.
wears at the end, and George Clooney's suit. So
Mm.
they acknowledge that he exists.
Yeah, and I think when a few weeks ago, the Warner Brothers Twitter account put something out for Robin, and they didn't use the animated series version, they didn't use the comic book version, they used Chris O'Donnell from Batman and Robin for their little
Oh,
Robin post.
nice.
So it was nice. It was nice to see them acknowledging it as well.
Also, they revealed a few days ago, actually, that there is a Schumacher cut that runs to 170 minutes that does
Yeah.
exist in the Warner Brothers archive.
Oh
And
man,
I know
please.
he's no longer with us now, but I'd love to see that.
I would adore that because the deleted scenes on this, again, we mentioned last time, they give a tantalizing glimpse into what Joel really wanted to do.
Yeah, he wanted to do an adaptation of Batman Year
He
One,
did, yeah.
but yeah, the studio obviously wanted a more lighter film.
These films are definitely the Schumacher films that are very interesting to discuss now because so many people just
Mhm.
dismiss them as, oh, they're the silly Batman flicks, they're the ones that aren't worth your time, and I think they're interesting to discuss. They're very interesting films.
Yeah. Plus, I think people are a bit more light. I mean, I don't think their reputations have improved somewhat, but I think people aren't as hostile towards them now because
Yeah,
Batman and Robin was considered the nail in the coffin for comic book films, and they're practically everywhere now.
yeah,
So
exactly. I think, but
it's not like they died for a long time.
yeah, if you, I think if you're still going on about how Batman and Robin was the worst thing in the world and blah 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 blah, I think you need to get a life really, because there have been
Plus, there's DC films out there that are far worse. Suicide Squad.
Batman v Superman. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the effect that the Batman and Robin had has long since passed now, and we're in, you know, there's no point in lingering on how bad it was anymore. I don't think. Obviously, you can still discuss it, but
Yeah.
people who just spend all their time moaning about it now, it's just like, nah, there are far
Move
worse
on,
out
real
there.
life.
I'm,
Gotham has a Statue of Liberty?
yes, this is the thing. The Superman films do this as well. The Superman and Batman films seem to sometimes think that Gotham and Metropolis are just New York. Because we
I
get...
think they got that confused with Spider-Man.
Ah, yeah, exactly.
Oh, is this the opening to Skyfall?
That was a cool shot, though,
It is.
with Batman
It
in
is
the
a cool
water,
shot,
yeah.
and I will say I'm not the biggest fan of slow-mo shots, but they're quite effective in this film.
So the CGI city here, it has dated, but I
Mm,
think you immediately get more of a sense of sort of geography than the last couple of films, maybe. Specifically the second one, because although I love that film, as we discussed last time, the second one is sort of confined to that square,
mhm.
whereas this we
Yeah,
get
here you
more
definitely
of
get
a...
more of a scale to it.
Yeah.
Plus, Jon Favreau is here.
Is he?
I think he's. Yeah, apparently he's Yeah, he plays like a board member who's with Bruce Wayne. He doesn't speak, but I'm sure you can see
Oh,
him.
I'm keeping my eye out. Oh, is that him there? Behind...
Yeah, behind.
Oh, there.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah, that's Jon
Oh,
Favreau.
wow. He looks very young.
Mhm,
He looks so young in this.
mhm.
I've never noticed that
The
before.
whole mm. Now Nigma is a fanboy who turns against his idol,
Yeah.
but I think there's only been one superhero movie that's done that trend right, and that's The Incredibles.
Oh, yeah, The Incredibles does it, isn't it? I've forgotten about that.
Yeah, because you have Syndrome. Because
Yeah.
the thing is with Syndrome in that, his motivation is pathetic. He wanted to be Mr.
Yeah,
Incredible's
exactly.
sidekick and he said no. But his behavior is very threatening because he manages to kill off all those superheroes
Mm.
and, build a giant base and giant robot.
I'm kind
Whereas
of...
here it's like the motivation is okay, but his behavior is kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Whereas it should be the other way round.
I'm a defender of how Iron Man 3 does it. I defend Aldrich Killian in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Just because
I don't mind Iron Man 3's twist either. I just think it would have been cool if we did get
no,
Tony Stark versus a wizard.
I really love Iron Man 3, like the twist, everything. I love it, but it's that's a topic for another day. But yeah.
Mhm. The box looks like a popcorn machine.
It does, yeah.
I've invented a popcorn machine.
What's inside them? It looks like they've just sort of cut a few art straws up and just put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
The bat signal's massive now.
The Red Sky shot you saw there, that looks like it's a shot straight out of the animated series.
It does, yeah. I was going to mention that. The lighting behind them as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this about the Riddler in this film. In terms of what he says and does, it's kind of foreshadowed what happens now. Like, he says, I think I deserve an answer. Fan entitlement.
Yeah. That's a cool...
And also, his machine is quite relevant today because there's more and more cyber attacks and cyber terrorism
Yeah, there is.
happening.
I think you could do a lot with the Riddler in the modern day.
Hopefully we'll see in the upcoming The Batman.
Yeah, I would have actually really liked to see what Christopher Nolan would have done with the Riddler, just to see in such a realistic environment what the Riddler would have been like.
Original plans for the third film was that Warner Brothers wanted the Riddler in it and have Leonardo DiCaprio play him.
Was that for
Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
Yeah, I think Nolan didn't want another villain who was a bit like the Joker, who psychologically messed with Batman. He wanted a physical threat.
Yeah,
so that's why he brought in Bane.
I don't think for your big end of trilogy villain, I don't think the Riddler is that. Bane is much more of a big end of trilogy.
I think people would have been comparing him way too much to the Joker.
Yeah, I agree. So this scene pisses me off.
Yeah.
Calling up.
Plus, I really don't like the Batmobile in this. It just looks like a giant penis.
Wow, it is Joel Schumacher. He loves it. He loves his phallic imagery. I don't mind it.
Also, not to sound homophobic, but is this what a gay man thinks a woman is like? Really horny and sexual?
It's very, very... Both of these films, these Schumacher films, are so sexually charged in a way that you don't spot when you're younger, but as you get older, you're like, yeah, the guy was properly horny when he was making these.
I have a bet beeper for that. Yeah, just...
Chicks love the car.
Oh, God. I mean, wow, just... The thing is, she comes to Gotham as a psychologist, but she never really does her job. She just spends her time going after Batman and trying to get into his bat underwear.
She's so... I like Nicole Kidman a lot. I don't really know what she's doing here. She plays the more dramatic stuff quite well, but...
Yeah, it's weird. Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell, they play it like it's a serious drama, whereas Tommy Lee Jones, Jim Carrey, and argue Nicole Kidman, they play it like it's a goofy movie and a cartoon. I mean, if you're 13, this is probably the greatest movie ever because it's got Jim Carrey in it, bright colours, lots of cool action, and Nicole Kidman in a bedsheet.
Coming onto Batman on the roof in very little clothing.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's Jim Gordon in his pajamas. Got there a bit late,
It's like
didn't you, Jim?
I saw the signal. Oh, you didn't bother to get dressed.
It's been about 5 minutes since we saw the signal on screen. Batman got there before. It's taken him a
Yeah.
long time. He just ran up there in his pyjamas.
Because how did she get... I mean, Batman and Robin establishes that he has the keys to operate the bat signals. How did she get them?
Yeah. Who knows?
That's sexist.
I really like Val Kilmer's voice in the suit, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I
It's
think we
pretty
should talk a bit more about him. I think as Batman, he's pretty good.
I really
'cause
like him.
He looks quite similar to Keaton in the
Mm.
suit, and yeah, he does put an effort to change his voice and change his physicality a bit and how he
Yeah.
acts. But I think as Bruce Wayne, he's a bit too wooden. Like,
Yes.
he's not into it that much.
There's
you
a
can tell,
line coming up
'cause
later.
apparently he accepted the role without reading the script, and his
Yeah.
performance is like, well, I kind of regret being in this, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a line coming up later at the party, and it's when he's like, only a blah 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 beamed directly into the brain can cause such effects, and it's a really weirdly delivered line. We'll get to it when we get to it, but there are points like that in this where his line deliveries are super odd.
Yeah.
But I quite like him at all. I would have liked to have seen him come back just to see what he would have done with another outing, but
hmm Well, apparently he didn't get on with Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher called him impossible and childish to work with.
yeah, there's a few conflicting stories about why he didn't come back. So Schumacher, I think, used to say that it was just a communication breakdown. Is all sorts of stories really, but
Okay, all the Riddler does here is just invent 3D TV.
yeah, I know, right? Also, when 3D Blu-ray was a thing, well, it's still a thing, but it's basically dead at this point. I'm surprised they didn't bring this out in 3D, just to take advantage of
Yeah,
this.
true. Also, Stickley is played by Ed Begley Jr., who
Yeah.
appeared in The Simpsons once.
Yeah, Ed Begley.
Ed, aren't you coming? I prefer a vehicle that doesn't hurt Mother Earth. This is a vehicle that is powered by my own self-satisfaction. We can't let you destroy these beautiful trees.
Mine comes with the power of yours. He's so. It's Jim Carrey playing Jim Carrey, and I do not care. He's
Yeah.
just fun to watch.
I think if he played the Riddler now, he'd be. I think he'd be a lot more serious
I
with
think
it.
he would. I mean, he did Sonic last year, and I didn't see that. Oh God, it was earlier this year, wasn't it? I didn't see the film,
Yeah.
but from the trailers, it looked like 90s Jim Carrey was back, where he's just being absolutely mental.
hmm the weird thing is, I think at the time everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Jim Carrey's playing a Batman villain. This is going to be so cool." Yeah, if you did a casting choice like this now, with his film background being in comedies and going over the top, the internet would throw a fit.
So many people would be up in arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
I He's having a lot of fun. So this scene,
I do have a problem with the riddles he places, because I mean the riddles themselves aren't bad. It's just what they amount to.
yeah,
It's just really underwhelming, because all it is Bruce Wayne guessing who's behind this
basically,
mystery.
and he takes so long to do the riddles are so sort of spaced out as well.
Yeah,
So,
they should have had.
Yeah.
Should have been more. Had a bit more of an impact.
yeah. So this scene was cut quite a lot on the UK version. They cut this whole bit where he holds the helmet and then lifts it to push him over. In the UK, they just edited it so it looked like he just pushed him straight out the window.
Ah, okay.
which when you see it, you kind of go, "Yeah, that's a logical edit," but then you realise he's got the helmet in his hands, and it's like, "Wait, how did that happen?"
Yeah. Mhm.
There's a lot of well, not a lot of, but Schumacher uses Dutch angles quite a lot in this, which
Well, Kenneth Branagh used a lot in the first 4 film. I suppose it makes sense because if you look at comic panels, they're quite tilted. Oh god, this is so lazy and lame. Why does he blame Batman for it? Surely he should blame Sal Maroni, who threw acid in his face.
And the fact that the news report was clearly a scene that had been directed because it cuts from multiple different angles, and
why was Batman in a courtroom?
Is in slow motion.
Yeah.
It was cool of I know we're slagging him off a bit, but it was cool of Pat Hingle and Michael Goff and all that to come back from the first 2, because it could have easily been a full-on reboot.
That's true, yeah.
So it's kind of cool that they brought over those cast members just to say that this is the same universe, but... Right, he says, as does sentence structure and spelling. Doesn't the note just say, goodbye, cruel world?
Yeah, and Commissioner Gordon looks at that and says, yep, definitely suicide.
Yep, definitely suicide.
I wonder if he looked at 9/11 and thought, yep, definitely an accident.
How did he fake the footage as well? Yeah. Regarding my suicide, goodbye cruel world. Yeah, you really had to replicate his sentence structure and spelling there.
In fact, you know who Edward Nigma, you know who Jim Carrey looks like? He looks like Batman v Superman's Lex Luthor.
He does, actually, with the hair and everything, like the long... That is a good point.
But the thing is, the reason I'd say Carrey's performance matches this film is because it is more colourful, it is more bright, it doesn't take itself that seriously, so you can buy this sort of person. But with Batman v Superman, it thinks it's the most important film in the world, it thinks it's the most serious film in the world, so a performance like that, it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Batman v Superman,
and it's absolutely awful.
It's a shame to be a comic book film, and it thinks it's high art. It's so pretentious. So when you've got Jesse Eisenberg going, "Oh, I love it! Oh, Bruce Wayne Clark Kent!" Oh, it just comes across as like really, really out of place.
Yeah, it thinks bribing someone with Jolly Ranchers and piss in a jar being code for there's a bomb in the courtroom.
Yeah, Batman v Superman has piss in a jar.
Batman v Superman's Lex Luthor, I think, is the worst comic book movie villain ever made.
He might be, because it's just... It feels like Jesse Eisenberg went into that film and went, oh, it's a comic book film, let's be fun and wacky, but it seemed like he doesn't realise the tone of the film he was in.
I kept hearing cast members say, oh, he's great as Lex Luthor, he's great, he took a lot of influence from Heath Ledger's Joker. Okay, 2 things. A, he is nowhere near as good as Heath Ledger as the Joker. B, the Joker is not Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor is not the Joker.
Completely different characters.
Yeah, I see Lex Luthor as a diabolical mastermind who thinks he's above everyone else, whereas the Joker is a chaotic and anarchic character.
And that's why whenever in like the animated stuff, like World's Finest, whenever Lex Luthor and the Joker team up, it's always a lot of fun to watch because they're so different. And they're the one's always trying to, like, Lex Luthor's trying not to be seen with the Joker and everything, and that's why they work as a double act, but they are not the same at all. See, do you see what I mean? Like, the cars here look very, very, like, 30s and stuff. And
Hmm.
It looks like an episode of the animated series.
It does, yeah. You can tell that receptionist didn't get hired for
Yeah.
skills. Meh. She
Eh.
should be.
So coming back to the Dutch angles as well, I can't remember who pointed this out, but I remember a few years ago listening to something about the '60s movie and how that uses loads and loads of Dutch angles when you're in the villain's lair because the villains are crooked. So that's why it uses it. So I wonder if that like the Dutch angles in these films is sort of a tribute to that maybe as well.
Hmm. That logic is as great as the attack took place at sea. Sea for Catwoman.
The exploding shark was pulling my leg. Joker! It all adds up to a sinister riddle. Riddle-er.
It's amazing how Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey look alike. Because later in the film at the Enigma party,
Yeah,
they look ungodly similar.
yeah, especially in that as well when they're both in the suits as well. It's very, yeah. And when Jim Carrey has a haircut as well.
Hmm.
Because that's something that puzzles me about this. He goes from being the Riddler and his hair is like dyed pink, like dyed red. And then in the very next scene, he's back to being Edward Nygma and his hair is just his natural colour. So, logic in the film...
Is it a wig?
Well, I don't think it is a wig, though. It looks like his natural hair. So...
Well, originally, apparently he was going to have a question mark shaved into his head. But
yeah.
I think Jim Carrey had to be in court for a divorce, so
Oh, that's...
while he was filming it, so he
Probably
couldn't
not-
really have that. He
turn
couldn't
up
really have the
with
luxury of waiting for it to
question
grow back.
Because I know some designs like to have him sort of like the question mark tattooed onto him.
Hmm. Yeah, well, the animated series has him in a green suit and a question mark
Yeah.
tie.
Yes, and
But,
in fact, I've got the figure right next to me. Hang on.
and I think in Gotham he just wears a green suit.
Yes, in Gotham, it's just the green suit looks really cool in Gotham. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool.
I really love the Riddler in Gotham because, yeah, his story arc is great because he starts off as a forensics officer in the GPD, and then you've got Gordon and Harvey trying to investigate a crime, and he just comes in and says a riddle, and they just look at him like, "Can you just tell us
Yeah,
what you've found instead of being like this?"
yeah, I agree. So
Yeah, in fact, one of my favorite episodes is in season 2 where you start to see the Riddler be born because he sets up a series of clues and mysteries to specifically frame Jim Gordon.
yeah, the Riddler's sort of downfall in that is very cool. So this line, tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus? And he seems to have got a lisp for that line. Tell me, Doctor, do you like the
This
circus?
kind of comes out of nowhere.
It does, yeah. Suddenly we've got like gold-painted, muscular men. Like, if anyone was in any doubt that the director of this film was a gay man, then this scene sort of puts that to rest.
Well, he says in the commentary to this film, "I'm accused a lot of objectifying men
Yeah.
and women, and to that I say, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Why can't we enjoy each other's bodies?"
Oh, bless him. He was so
Yeah.
we can see.
I love how openly gay he was.
Yeah, good on him, and especially because he was making films in a time where that wasn't very accepted either, and he was just made no bones about it. He just, yeah, good on him. Well, I think we've just missed Gossip Gertie, a recurring character in these Schumacher films. A really over-the-top reporter lady.
Isn't that Bob Kane's wife?
I've heard that, and I can never remember if it's true or not. She
Yeah, because at Enigma's party, doesn't she see Bruce Wayne and go, "Oh, Bruce Wayne!"
Brucey, yeah. And she pops up a lot in these Schumacher films. She's very, very. Dick Grayson's father looks like Eric Roberts.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's weird.
I think the Robin story is done pretty well in this.
I think it is.
He's clearly 25.
Yeah, but I didn't really mind that. I kind of like how they combine different elements of all the different Robins. So you've got sort of the aesthetic and the origin of Dick Grayson with elements of sort of Jason Todd and Tim Drake in there as well.
Yeah, because aren't Tim Drake's parents killed by Two-Face in the comics?
I believe so, yes. And the
animated series.
Yeah, and then Jason Todd is in a lot of sort of in Under the Red Hood. He's sort of
right.
Yeah, in Jason Todd, we see in the animated film, we see flashbacks to him sort of like trying to nick the tires off the Batmobile. So that's kind of in this as him being sort of good with motorbikes and engineering and stuff like that. So it's cool.
In fact, I think at the time, if you were going to go for a younger Robin, I'd have gone for Edward Furlong.
Yeah, he would have been very good actually, because he would have been about the right age as well, because grown up a bit.
I don't know how old he was in T2.
Yeah.
And this was 4 years later, so he'd have been, 16, 17? I think he would have been quite a good Robin.
Yeah, he'd have grown up a bit. He would have been... Yeah, I think so. When did he start getting into, like, drugs, though? Because did that come later, or was this around the time?
I think it might have come a bit later, because he was supposed to be in T3, but...
yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, he was really suffering at the time.
I really like Chris O'Donnell, though. I think he does a good job.
Yeah, I think he is pretty good as
No
Robin.
problems with him at all in this.
Yeah, it's just in the next one, he's just a whiny little twat. Right, how is this a surprise for anyone? Because if you're sat there, you can clearly see his purple face.
Exactly, if you're sat...
It's because when he turns to the camera there, they act like, oh, it's a big twist, it's Two-Face.
Exactly.
But if you were sat in certain parts of the audience, you could clearly see it was Two-Face.
I enjoy... I know we spoke earlier about Tommy Lee Jones. I'm not sure what he's doing in this, but I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy his performance. Like, just... It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not very good, but it's entertaining.
At least he looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, exactly. A radio detonator.
Bit of McCoy there, rolling the R's.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's saying to him, didn't you used to be a black man?
Yeah.
Well, apparently, when Billy D. Williams signed on for Harvey Dent, he signed on for 3 films. He was contracted for them, but he was still paid for the next 2 films, even though he didn't appear in them.
Really? That's interesting,
That's
actually.
pretty lucky.
It's a big missed opportunity to not.
2 things. A, there's no way your date did not hear that.
Yes.
Because she's right next to you.
Yes.
And, I'm just going to say, no, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Look, I'm Batman. I'm Batman, and so's my wife.
I don't think Bruce Wayne would do that as easily, though, as well.
Yeah, if he was going to reveal himself as Batman, it'd be way more dramatic than that. He wouldn't just say, hey, I'm Batman.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that quick. I think he'd try and do what he's doing now, i.e. like go and try and subdue the bomb and subdue Two-Face and stuff secretly.
Mm-hmm. But the whole, the Robin origin here is very similar to the animated series, because
Yeah,
they're killed by a guy called Tony Zucco, because I think he cuts their rope when they're doing a stunt.
I think so. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it because that's is that Robin's Reckoning 2-parter?
Yeah, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah, I've not seen it in a while. I'm gonna have to watch it again, but I think you're right. Yeah.
Plus in that, it makes more sense why Bruce Wayne takes him in, because Dick Grayson is 12, so obviously he needs an adult to look after him.
Yeah.
And B, he can't stay with the circus because, he saw an argument on their property and he's a witness, so he was still in danger. Whereas here, it's just like, oh, your parents are dead, come live with me. I mean, because later he says, all right, I'm out of here. I mean, Bruce Wayne should have been like, okay, legally you're an adult, so I can't stop you.
I think it's more that he sees himself in him, doesn't it? Because of his parents being killed and everything. But yeah.
Good thing that's a square. Good thing that's a circle bomb and not square.
Yeah. Oh god, that would have been a disaster. I like that image though.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I like that image though of him like watching from the ceiling and them looking up and everything.
Yeah,
it's a cool image.
Yeah, I do like how they can relate to each other because both of their families were killed by a maniac.
Yeah, and I like that. It feels like there should be more, and obviously there is more. It was just cut out, but I do like the parallels it does with that, and how it dives into the psychology of Bruce Wayne a lot in this, and that I like what's done with it. It's just a shame that a lot was cut because I think it would have just been.
Yeah, I hope it's not too. I hope a Schumacher extended cut isn't far away.
I really, I mean, it'd be really
But then again,
nice.
would you call it the Schumacher cut because he's no longer with us?
Yeah, I think they just probably. If anyone was gonna do it, it'd be like Warner Archive, who did the TV cut of Superman the
movie. Yeah.
If anyone was gonna do it, it'd be them, and I really want them to do it. It'd be a great tribute to him as well.
Definitely. Forget the Snyder cut. I want the Schumacher cut.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That the fact that we've got the Snyder cut now, for better or worse, it has kind of opened the door to more of these cuts coming out. As much as I don't want it, it would not surprise me one bit if we got the David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad soon. If there's an announcement of that soon. I don't want it, but
there's a Superman reference coming up here.
Yeah, it's in
There it is.
Metropolis.
The circus is halfway to Metropolis. Oh, I mean, I know we reference Batman v Superman a lot, but with Gotham and Metropolis, it's like they're next door to each other. And I think, I mean, in this at least, they established that they're quite away from each other.
Yeah, exactly. Batman v Superman, it's literally they're right next to each other. All Clark Kent needs to do to get to Gotham is take a ferry. And it doesn't seem like it's a long trip either. It seems like it's a little 10-minute boat ride and he's there.
And they both look like miserable shitholes.
Yeah.
Grey and puke brown. If you want to up the contrast, I would have Metropolis as this big happy city like you see in the Truman Show.
Yeah.
And have Gotham be a rundown noir shithole.
And they kind of do that a little bit, but not really. They don't commit to it, really. And there's no sense of where you are. In that film, there's no sense of whether you're in Gotham or Metropolis. There's no difference between the two. See, all this stuff is very sort of human and small scale with the bikes and everything.
I'm sure you'll land on your feet, unlike your parents.
Yeah. Perhaps the dogs are hungry.
Why are you giving him milk? I mean, I like drinking milk, and I'm 22, but surely a 20-year-old would want alcohol.
Surprised you didn't come out with milk and cookies. Master Wayne, is Santa Claus coming? So yeah, like all this with him on his own and stuff, and it's great. It's great stuff. And then you contrast that to like Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey screaming and giggling. It's like two different films. To his Batman's origin again.
And I think in context of the film, it does make sense why this had come back to him, because obviously he's just seen Dick Grayson's parents die, and the reason he became Batman was so that this wouldn't happen to another person.
Exactly.
And it's like he's failed in that regard.
I love the way this is Joel Schumacher flexing stuff that he did in the Lost Boys and everything. The blue light, the spotlight, the gunman disappearing into the fog. You've seen there the blue fire. It's brilliant. This is so good.
It's really stylish.
It's brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah, he wanted to make Batman Year One, so there's elements. of it here.
There is. Yeah. I like how it's intercut with present day Bruce as well. Like it's a flashback, but it's not a full on extended sequence. It's very much sort of intercutting, and when we, the audience, and Bruce in general, we're not quite there, which is why everything's sort of soaked in blue, and it's got this haze to it. It seems like it's sort of vague memories and stuff. I like the way it's done.
Yeah, because when I first saw this film, because I actually saw Batman and Robin first, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I assumed that this was just going to be like that film, just complete campy nonsense and shit and ice puns. But when I saw scenes like this, I was genuinely surprised. And I thought, why aren't more people talking about these scenes? Because they're really good.
Yeah, it gets
people don't give them enough credit.
It gets lumped in with Batman and Robin as it entirely being campy and silly, and
it's a bit like I mean, I'd say they're taboo to say now. It's a bit like the Amazing Spider-Man films, because the second one didn't go over very well, and obviously led to the cancellation of the franchise. People now seem to act like, the first film was always dog shit.
Yeah, the thing is, I went through a phase of Amazing Spider-Man. I like Amazing Spider-Man 1. I always kind of have. I just went through a phase for a while of just saying that I didn't, just because I was an idiot. But I like the first one.
Yeah, I really still like the first one, and I actually don't mind the second one. I think it's alright. There's far worse out there.
Yeah, there are. I like elements of the second one. There are a handful of scenes that I think, that's really good. I like the fact that it's colourful and stuff. I just think I don't like the whole Richard Parker hidden subway, hidden lair thing. I think that's just stupid, but... Yeah,
the whole parents thing was just stupid.
I like this line coming up, or I don't think have we missed it, maybe? When Alfred says, broken wings mend in time. Oh, there we go. Broken wings mend in time. I like that line.
When he picked up the helmet and said, "Is this a Robin?" I'd have answered with, "No, it's a helmet, you Yeah, this kind of comes out of nowhere. And as you say, we just go from Bruce reciting his origin and having flashbacks again.
Yeah.
Deep drama stuff, the sort of stuff you'd see in like the Burton films. And then we just cut to this, and it's like something out of the Adam West show.
Do we ever find out what he was going to go to? Because he sees the bat signal, goes, and then gets caught up in this. What was he actually going to?
Yeah. Plus, why did he disguise himself as an old woman? Like, he would have... Actually, the disguise probably would have hindered you, Two-Face, because he would have driven around you and you would have missed him.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiot!
I mean,
he's just going,
He makes loads of noises like that in this.
Plus he says, Plus, at times in the film, he's saying like "we'll drive" or
Wheel
"you
drive, thank
broke
you.
into our hideout." Yeah, he refers to himself as "we" and "our," but there's no distinction between the two personalities.
Yes.
He just goes from being a bit crazy to more crazy.
Yeah, and later on when he's like he's continuously flipping the coin until he gets what he wants. Two-Face will never do that.
I've seen a few people defend that by saying he was making three separate decisions. One was for Bruce Wayne, one was for Chase Meridian, and the third choice was for Batman.
That,
But it's not. Yeah,
no,
I mean, if that was the idea, it wasn't portrayed well in the film.
that's
So it
clearly
genuinely looks
not.
like he's flipping the coin till he wants to see the bad side.
Which Two-Face would never ever do. So you have the Batmobile driving up the wall in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, I love Batman. The tight rubber armor, the flashy car. I hear it can drive up walls. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Joel.
whatever, Joel. That's a great episode.
Yeah. It's a good episode because it just shows how much Batman has changed over the years.
And it basically.
So I think there's reference to Bob Kane Batman, obviously the Schumacher Batman, 60s Batman, I think even Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah. That's definitely a reference to Adam West, isn't it? With all the civilians looking at him as he drives up the wall.
Tune in next week. Will Two-Face kill Batman? Also, the whole reason he put the Bat and Robin suits in this are very muscular and have nipples is because they were based on Greek statues.
Yeah, and like.
And I can see the reason behind that because, superheroes came from Greek mythology.
Yeah, like perfectly moulded Greek gods and stuff. Like, that's how Schumacher saw these characters. He's spoken before about how they are the modern day Greek myths.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. It's just I don't really want to see their crotch and bums.
I honestly, the nipples on the Batsuit, I think, is an issue that's blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I don't like they're there. It's
also I'm just confused a bit by the whole Riddler origin. So a character like this exists in Gotham, and he's just taking the costume?
I don't get it. So Drew Barrymore as the good side, and I don't know the actress.
Yeah, Sugar.
I don't know the actress for the other one, but. I like this idea that his lair is split into two. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, but it's literally... Yeah, again, it's very Adam West. Just very obvious. Like how every Catwoman would go, perfect!
Yeah. What's he doing in the
Aaron
back?
Eckhart doing this.
I mean, both of these actresses are hamming it up and having fun, so...
Well, Drew Barrymore would go on to be in Scream the following year.
Yes, she would. She's great in that. I know she's only in it for a bit, but she makes an impression.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like his costume here with the overcoat.
Yeah, I just don't like the green spandex.
Yeah.
It's just look like pajamas.
I know, yeah, I agree. But like here, when it's the coat and the hat and everything, I actually really like the look. Like waist up.
Yeah, and the cane as
it looks
well.
cool.
I like it.
I think that if he had like the trousers of that as well, this kind of would be the perfect Riddler costume for me. I think it's a really great look with the coat and everything. With the spandex, yeah, like you say, it just looks very pajama-like, but...
The problem is, as a disguise, it's pretty terrible. It's clearly Edward Nigma.
The mask is tiny. I love this. I've quoted this scene quite a lot, and no one ever knows what I'm referencing. Specifically the, does anybody else feel like a fried egg? No one ever knows what I'm referencing, but I will keep doing it until someone gets it.
I mean, Spider-Man 3 kind of references this scene where the villains team up for zero reason.
Oh yeah, I know all about you.
Even though, yeah, I want to kill the spider. You want to kill the spider. Well, actually, no, I don't. I want to help my sick brother, but whatever.
There's a great fan edit of that scene on YouTube where they've overdubbed Venom's voice. So when
because it sounds very distorted. Like, I want to get your flesh.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. At least it's not on my planet. I'm a loser as well.
I'm kind of a loser like you. It's so bad. It's so you, and yet so you. I love it. I love it.
The thing is, does he have to walk backwards in order for it to match? Like, so his good and bad face is on the same side as the decoration.
Essentially, yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's true. Actually, you're right. The pink might be a wig. The red pink hair thing might be a wig.
Yeah, it could be, unless they dyed it.
But yeah, it's just because in the continuity of the film, like, he goes day to day. By day he's got his normal hair. By night he's got red pink hair. It's weird.
Yeah.
Here we go. Does anybody else feel like a fried egg?
It's also a reference to TV warnings, like, watch too much TV and you'll turn into a fried egg.
Yeah.
You know, the joy of seeing villains team up is that you want to see their distinct personalities work off each other.
Yes.
But these two are practically
same.
playing the same person.
It's later on when
laughing lunatics.
Yeah, it's later on where they're sat together in the Riddler's hideout and they're both just giggling, and it's just like,
yeah. Right, there's a real continuity error here. He smashes. Riddler does.
The diamond.
Yeah, it's here. He picks up a big diamond. Next shot, it's
Yeah.
not happened.
And it's not even.
It's got really small.
It's not even like a quick one that you'd miss. Like, the shot lingers on him picking up the massive diamond.
Yeah.
This laundry scene is bizarre.
I'm expecting Michael Jordan to come in with Bugs Bunny.
This is so 90s, this.
Yeah.
It's ninja laundry. It's very weird.
Well, actually, speaking of Looney Tunes, we actually did miss that Sugar and Spice were watching Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yes, they
on
were.
Spot.
It's a cool little detail.
Why does this guy literally just stand there and
what
wait
is
for them
it?
to punch him?
I've never got what this
It's
is meant to
security!
be.
Do something!
But are they meant to be, like, bribed off? Are they meant to be, like, dirty cops, like, paid off by Two-Face and the Riddler? If so, would you just stand there and let them punch you?
Yeah, where was Batman?
I was going to say, where was he? There's no explanation for where he's gone.
Because later in the film they try to do a Batman No More storyline.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Again, that's probably something that would have been better if the deleted scenes were left in. Because a lot of it, like, when you consider the deleted scenes in there as well, a lot of it reminds me of Spider-Man 2. With the whole conflict, hero in crisis kind of thing. But it's just, in this version of the film, in the theatrical version, it's not really explored. And this is weird as well, the way this is edited. We're getting like very short scenes of at the Wayne Manor intercut with what seems like a montage of the Riddler rising to power. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like all that with Two-Face and the Riddler robbing the things should lead directly into this bit with him giving his speech and everything, but we're getting like little short scenes intercut within it. It's oddly edited.
Mm-hmm.
Does no one notice the giant green cloud?
No, unless it's in. Actually, no, it can't be invisible because it's clearly there.
It's going to this
So
big
no
factory
one's noticing this.
in the middle of nowhere.
How did he build this big island? He's not a Bond villain.
Hey, Joel. Why is this like this? Hey, it's a comic book.
Well, yeah, Nicole Kidman did say to Joel Schumacher, "Yo, why am I behaving like this? Don't you think she's a bit too over the top? Like,
Yeah.
would a psychologist really be this sexual?" And she said, "Nicole, it's a comic book. All logic goes out the window."
Honestly, I love Joel Schumacher. He was good on him for going full on. This is a comic book. He clearly cared about what he was making. That's the thing. It's not like
That's true, yeah.
when people, and I guess we'll talk about this when we get to Batman and Robin, but when people say, "Oh, it's a film where nobody cared," no, people care. People knew what they were making. Everyone knew what they were making with that.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Because I'd argue it was the studio that led to both of these film shortcomings.
Both of these films do not come across as films where they just turned up, did their job, and got their money. Do you know what I mean? Like, neither of the films don't feel like that. They feel like they have effort put into them.
Mm-hmm. Plus, okay, we just missed the whole intruder alert and the Batmobile comes up. That's pretty stupid. That's like someone breaking into MI5 and all the secret nuclear launch codes turn
Pop up.
on.
Yeah.
Intruder alert. Here, have these nuclear launch
Have
codes.
them all.
Oh, thanks.
Also, the intruder alert thing sounds really weird. As a kid, I always thought it was saying something different. Like, as a kid, I was intervere-olic. I always thought it was saying stuff like that as a kid because it doesn't sound like intruder alert to me. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Like, now it's a very bizarre intruder alert. It's weird. The lighting doesn't match what's outside. It's really strong blue.
Yeah, that's very blue.
Yeah, very, very strong blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this where we get Michael Gough? The other car. No, sir, the other car. Is that in a minute?
Yeah, I think so. Batman is on a front cover of Time magazine. What did he do? Make a film? I need a film.
Batman's selling out.
No wonder I'm on a cover. No wonder I'm on a cover of Entertainment Weekly.
That's how he got the money. That's how he got the Bat credit card made.
Yeah.
It's as if he's cursed to pay some great penance. That's a great line to sort of describe.
That's a trailer line.
Yeah, it's a great with Batman as well. Lots of this stuff works, I think.
On paper, these ideas are really good. You've got a woman who loves Batman but not Bruce Wayne. Batman questioning his own origins. a teenage boy who wants revenge for his parents' death,
Yeah.
and a villain who's smart enough to figure out who Batman is. On paper, this could have been the greatest Batman film ever, but it's just watered down and generic.
Yeah, and it's just tonally very inconsistent as well with it, because you go from this to mental set pieces and stuff, which I don't mind, like, because it's all a balance, but it does feel sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah, because I've seen some people defend it, saying like, well, the heroes like Batman and Robin, they're for the adults, and the villains are like for the kids. But they just seem too far apart for me.
Here we go. The other car. No, sir.
Take the hint.
The other car. Saying it through gritted teeth.
The other car.
The other car. Those fins look like they're about to snap off.
How did Alfred let him get away?
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
because we saw him in the Batcave. He was like, take the car, I suppose.
He's an old man. What's he going to do to defend himself if Robin just says...
Yeah, true. Perhaps they'll have me back at Buckingham Palace. Oh yeah, Dick Grayson unknowingly gives away Batman's identity. Because they say, that's not Batman. Surely they'd be recognising him as the orphan that Bruce Wayne took in.
That's Batboy.
Oh, so Bruce Wayne is Batman. Even the prostitutes are in weird colours.
Yeah, the gang members with bright. I mean, that gets ramped up in the second film as well, or the fourth one, I should say. But technically, the second Schumacher film, it gets ramped up and.
Yeah, because this scene we're about to see here, where he fights those criminals, it looks like a laser tag.
I was gonna say, it looks like a game of Laser Quest.
Yeah, I used to go to a theme park in Great Yarmouth on holiday. This looked like the inside of a fun house.
And like the neon lit skull makeup that all the thugs have got on. Oh, so I forgot my suit, alright? He forgot his suit. That's really the excuse that he's using.
Yeah. But here, I think him being quite an expert in combat does make sense, because obviously he's an acrobat.
And he's got a very acrobatic style.
Whereas with Batgirl, it makes zero sense, because she's just, a technical genius? Oh yeah, I love how when the girl says to him, "Doesn't Batman ever kiss the girl?" The music like flares up as this big romantic score.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here it is.
Da-ra!
This isn't a Disney film.
Suddenly they all come out of nowhere like dogs. You got a whistle and they'll come.
I mean, are those glow sticks supposed to be lightsabers?
They look like lightsabers. They're those toy ones that you get from Poundland, the knockoff ones.
Oh god, I used to have those all the time.
Yeah, that's a cool image of him just watching from the roof.
Yeah. It's weird, it's like they're waiting for him to actually notice him on the ground.
Notice me.
Yeah, because one of them goes, "Batman!" and they all run away.
Notice me.
How long was he waiting there?
I like this as well, that Dick Grayson's putting so much energy into trying to beat him up, and Batman's just blocking him with his no effort at all. I really like that.
Yeah, I just think I didn't know you could put your fists up like that while someone's attacking you, and you'd be all right.
Shields up.
Mm-hmm. The Batcave in this looks really good.
Yeah, I like it, and I like that it has got elements of the ones from the previous two, where like the room full of suits and stuff that you go in to change and everything. I really like the Batcave design.
And it does look really big as well.
Yeah, it looks huge.
Plus, is this film the only appearance of the Bat boat?
I think so.
Is that what we call it?
I think so.
Because I mean, not counting the Adam West film, I think this is its only theatrical
Yeah,
appearance. Yeah, I love
yeah,
this.
I love all this.
It's just, I think on paper this stuff is good, but the fact that they're relating this to Two-Face, who is just a laughing lunatic and not very threatening, and it's just kind of a pain in the arse,
Yeah, it
it
doesn't
just
seem to
doesn't
fit
resonate as well.
with this version of
If it was,
Two-Face.
say, like, yeah, if it was like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson's Joker, who was a lot more threatening and scary, it
Yeah,
probably would have worked a lot better. I think later, Dick Grayson actually suggests Nightwing as a name.
yes, he does. He says Batboy Nightwing or something.
To be honest, Nightwing's a cooler name than Robin.
Yeah, it is.
No wonder Dick Grayson gave up being Robin.
Dick Grayson looks really,
I
really
don't.
reluctant to be there
Yeah, it's like, I'll come for the cheap wine, I
with his
guess.
massive V-neck shirt that he's
Mm.
wearing. Got this band as well. It's pretty. It's so neon. It's insane. Gossip Gertie again.
Yeah,
Yes,
here
he
it
is.
is. God, I must
Oh,
know.
Brucey.
Yeah, I'm sure that's Bob Kane's wife.
Yeah, she's somebody. She hasn't done much apart from these, but shut up.
So speaking of Bob Kane, apparently he felt that Val Kilmer's interpretation of Batman was the best one up to that point.
Yes, I've heard that. I'd I'd be interested to see what he would have made of Christian Bale, because
Yeah, it's kind of depressing that Batman and Robin was the final
yeah.
Batman film we saw.
I think this is where Val Kilmer's a bit wooden in this party scene. As I mentioned, the line that we're going to get coming up, but he's just very sort of. He doesn't play the sort of bachelor thing very well.
Mm.
So this is essentially just VR without the headset.
More or less,
Is
yeah.
what he's invented.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it did predict quite a bit of the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Riddler would be a very relevant villain for today's
He would be,
times.
yeah. Because a lot of the modern Riddler versions go for a timeless thing. Yeah, it's this line. Only a high-frequency carrier wave? It's a weird delivery.
It's like he's reading it off a
Yeah,
keycard.
and his voice
Okay,
goes...
that's good, Val. Now look at Jim.
Yeah, and his voice goes really deep as well, doesn't it? Fully interactive holographs. It seems like it's been dubbed over later, but quite badly.
Yeah. Plus also, how Riddler figures out Batman's identity is quite similar to Hugo Strange in the animated series.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the animated series...
I think he uses a machine that goes deep into your mind, and obviously he uncovers that Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because the animated series had been running for a few years by this point, so they probably took bits of
Well, I
inspiration.
think, I think by this time they were coming to the end of the second season, which was the Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yes, because that would have been 90... because this is 95, so yeah, you're probably right.
And then New Batman Adventures came out 97, 98, so after Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's weird that there was a gap between Adventures of Batman and Robin and New Batman Adventures. It's not a long gap, but it's interesting.
Would have been due to the fact of Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero.
Probably, yeah.
Because it was supposed to come out the same time as Batman and Robin, but because of that film being a disaster, they postponed it.
Yeah.
Because it came out, I think, after New Batman Adventures, but chronologically it's set before that because, Batman's still in his old Batsuit, Dick Grayson is still Robin.
Yes, it's the old sort of style. Yeah. I think
So when I first watched it, I expected Tim Drake to be Robin, but nope.
I slot it in between seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah. And you could slip Mask of the Phantasm between season 1 and 2, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Mask of the Phantasm can basically go anywhere, really. It doesn't. It's quite open. But I think because Batgirl's in Sub-Zero, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. In fact,
that has to be.
It's Mr. Freeze who's after Batgirl.
Yeah,
in that, if I remember correctly.
So that has to be after the Batgirl episode.
Mm-hmm. This is a stickle. This isn't Andy from Toy Story.
Don't anybody move.
Surprised when people hand over cash, he doesn't kiss it and go, hoo hoo hoo, money, money, money. Also, when he starts talking to Two-Face as Edward Nigma, no one puts 2 and 2 together that he's the Riddler still.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, here comes the yeah.
Pre-sold the movie rights. Here we go.
Oh god, who it is?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, we've only got one shot at this take, and it cost us $1 million. And please do it right, because we only get one shot at it. Batman will fall from the sky, and you will say, Batman, yeah. You got that? Yeah. Batman, yeah.
It seems like he's shouting.
That one shot cost us $1 million.
It seems like he's shouting it in Nicole Kidman's ear as well.
Yeah. Used to work for the Queen? Oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark reference.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg called, he wants his joke back.
Phase 2.
Yeah. God, it looks like she's eating him.
Yeah, I know, she the way she's looking at him as well, it's like, oh my god. Calm down. You're in the middle of a bloody hostage. Well,
I mean, I wouldn't mind a girl looking at me like that, but for a serious relationship, no.
Well, of course. I mean, that as well, the way she's looking at Batman as he walks off.
She's like, oh god, I want you back, crotch.
I dread to think what's happening if the camera would pan down.
In fact, I know we've long past it now, but that scene on the rooftop, it felt like the opening to a Batman porno.
Yeah, it does, and the way she's continuously stripping off as well. It's bizarre. It's really odd. So this shot with him jumping off the roof.
First CGI person?
Yes, I think so. It's some historic landmark in CGI anyway. So we've done our research.
Well, John Dykstra did the visual effects for this because he went on to do Spider-Man.
He did, yeah. I've been watching the Spider-Man trilogy special features over the last few days. He's an interesting guy. He seems like he's got a lot to say and stuff.
How does this protect him? I don't
It's just
get
a
it.
cape. It's not going to do anything.
I mean, Edna Mode can now eat her words about no capes because that just saved his life.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we go. This shot of him coming through the fire is awesome.
Yeah, that looks great. And also, the shot of his face, he looks really pissed off and evil.
It's awesome.
Like,
With the red and everything.
There, like, Jesus.
Why can't you just die?
Because you're really shit at it. When he comes out of the rubble, though, it actually looks like the 89 suit because
yes, it
it's
does.
had all the dust and rubble on it. Oh, God.
We haven't really spoken about it, but I really like this version of the bat suit because it's basically a more refined version, again, of the 89 and Returns suit.
It looks more polished and rubbery.
Yeah, it looks a bit less goofy than because the 89 suit's great, but there were we spoke about there were points where it looked a bit sort of unintentionally goofy. Yeah. And yes, I can see what you mean there. It does look like the 89 suit because the way the dust on it and everything.
Yeah, even the way he delivered that, he should be really angry, but he just doesn't. Just sounds like he's tired, really. What the hell did you think you were doing? Dick Grayson, college student. Then why is he not at college then?
Yeah, exactly.
He should be living in student halls. Because in the animated series, obviously he takes Dick Grayson in when he's, 10, 11, something like that?
Yeah, he's a lot younger.
And, yeah. And I think, obviously I think he occasionally visits Bruce, but he's mainly a university student.
Yeah.
I think. I think you see his graduation at one point.
Yeah, because it's the episode where the Scarecrow targets the college football team.
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing to Fear, I think it's called.
I think it might be in.
No.
I think it might be in the new Batman Adventures as well.
Yeah. Fear of Victory, I think.
Where he tells the story of how he became Nightwing.
What is this footage he's looking at? What is she posing for?
Yeah, I don't get it.
That seems like she's posing for like a modelling shoot or something because she's looking directly at the.
She's probably looking at Tom Cruise's bank account and decided to marry him.
So, here's another scene.
Yeah, now this
looks.
Now this looks like the opening to a Batman porno.
I was gonna say is another scene that looks a bit like a porno. Because this is where we have the bit with the weird smile.
Yeah, that is weird.
Let's be honest, you'd shit yourself. If you lived in a place like that and Batman was suddenly stood outside the window looking in at you, you would shit yourself.
Yeah, I'd be like, I didn't do anything, please don't hurt me.
It's terrifying.
Christ, she's wearing nothing under
She's
there.
literally wearing nothing. This is the thing,
I mean, yeah, if you were 14, this was probably your sexual awakening.
most likely.
I think I'm not counting Batman and Robin because the love interest has zero impact on the story.
She's just there.
Interests. I think out of the three love interests, she's the worst.
Probably, yeah. Because your body is really like it's.
Body.
She just exists
It's
to
just
be
really misogynistic.
It is.
Like, just gets you to think that all women are sexual objects. Oh,
But
I don't like
the thing
it.
is, as well, the love story seems properly like she's got no reason to be in love. Like, I get she finds him psychologically fascinating, but
Why does that mean you have to get into bed with him?
there's no. At least with sort of Selena Kyle as well. Those two were two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Here we go. Here's the smile.
Yeah, that's just...
It's the shot holds on it for too
That's
long.
just really goofy.
The shot holds on it way too long. That's the problem.
Plus, there shouldn't have been a shot of that because Well, it just says, "Ooh, I'm getting laid tonight."
I can see what they were going for, because you can't maybe have him driving in the Batmobile and sort of look back and give a little bit of a sort of a hint of a smile there or something. I can see what they're going for, but it's just the way it looks is. So again, this technology has the power to
honestly
create footage of giant bats.
The way these two, that is weird. The way these two act with each other, you'd think they got on well, but
yes,
they hated each other. I think.
Because
I don't know if Jim Carrey had any hard feelings towards Tommy Lee Jones, but I know Tommy Lee Jones hated him. Jim Carrey.
But look at the way they're touching each other as well. It's so sort of.
They might as well be gay.
So
might as well start kissing.
Yeah, from this day on, Batman is no more.
Come here. Yeah, it just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and again, the deleted scenes would help with this. I know we keep saying it, but it's like.
Yeah. Plus, also, I think there's a line that Alfred says a bit later. Says Dick Grayson has run away, but then, literally in the next scene, he's back as Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I think this is the shortest, or maybe the Batman and Robin is, but this is a couple of minutes shorter than the others. Because Batman and Batman Returns clock in at exactly the same length. It's quite weird.
And the weird thing is, each film in the Nolan trilogy is 12 minutes longer than each.
Oh, is it? That's quite a cool detail.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the shortest. Batman and Robin is 125 minutes.
Oh yeah, is this technically a Halloween film? Because we get trick or treat.
That comes out of nowhere as well. Like, there's been no Halloween decorations anywhere in Gotham up to this point.
Exactly. Yeah, so many people get on at Alfred for letting Vicky Vale into the Batcave. What about when he obviously let Riddler and Two-Face into Wayne Manor? It's obviously them.
Trick or treat. Trick.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the highest grossing films of '95. This was the 6th most successful film that year.
Oh, interesting. What was the most that year?
Die Hard with a Vengeance. Also, it's so weird. 25 years ago, a film grossing 300 million was the highest.
It is weird, isn't it? Right, yeah. So that you can tell that they're kids. That's clearly kids in masks. When it's the Riddler and Two-Face,
clearly grown men going trick or treat.
At least put like a cloak over you or something.
It's like in the Three Little Pigs Disney cartoon. I'm a pretty little sheep with no place to sleep. Please open the door and let me in. Not by the hair of an chinny chin chin.
Oh right, I've got the subtitles on. I don't know if you have. I've got the I always thought the line was "or you'll be sick," but the subtitles say that the line was "don't eat too much or you'll be sick in your beds." Seems like.
Well, I've been sick in my bed before.
I know, but it seems like a weird detail to emphasise.
Yeah.
You'll be sick in your beds. See, they're hugging each other and holding each other. What are they doing?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no problem. Like, you know,
it's not that funny.
It's just the way they're like.
Yeah, and now you've got a scene like this. They don't
match.
Damn it!
Again, that there with them hugging each other, it's the product of, like I said, these.
I wonder if there's alternative takes.
Oh, there must be.
Carey and Jones. Maybe if they did more serious performances.
There must be. Depends if all the footage survives. Because I know a lot of people for a while presumed that the deleted footage on this was destroyed, but
Apparently not.
no, it's on here. Because I think the first deleted scene is is Two-Face escaping from Arkham, and he's written in blood on the wall, "The Bat must die," and it's really creepy.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy.
Yeah, it's really good.
Also, the guy at Arkham Asylum is called Dr. Burton.
Yes, he is. I always like that detail. He claims to know the true identity of the Batman. Like, this is Schumacher flexing his muscles here. This is properly Joel Schumacher being the Lost Boys
The
director.
opening to Batman v Superman kind of copied this, didn't it? Him falling through the ground.
Yeah, except in that they do this pretentious thing where the bats lift him up and he holds his arms out like Jesus.
Yeah, I thought Superman was supposed to be like Jesus.
Yeah.
Plus, I think when Batman gets, or Bruce Wayne, I should say, when he gets shot and wakes up, apparently he was supposed to lose his memory, and he had to regain it.
That's a weird
I don't know if he lost
detail.
his memory as, say, Bruce Wayne, or if he lost his memory as being Batman, but that would have been cool to see.
Yeah, I don't think it would have fit at this point in the film, though, because it's a bizarre... Because that seems like a plot twist that you introduced earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the audio's going a bit distorted on your end. I can still hear you fine, but there's a sort of buzzing noise.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's alright, I can still hear you.
Cool. Oh yeah, there she figures out he's back.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, you earned your PhD, didn't you?
The multitude of clues.
Doctorate.
Yeah, here we go. Twick or tweet.
Oh, Christ.
The subtitles actually spell out twick or tweet with W.
Oh,
That's quite
be
cool.
fired.
Did you notice that Alfred actually moves the tray away from the door so that Jim Carrey can open it?
Yeah, plus I don't think that was Michael Goff. I think that might have been a stunt.
Yeah. He's moving off because he's down on the floor and you can just see his arm move the tray out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bruce Wayne really needs new security.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I need an image of that in my head? Spank me.
Well, in a minute we get the weird sound effect when he grabs his crotch and the sound effect goes boing.
Yeah, the wow.
Boing. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Shut up!
Yeah, intruder alert, and everything turns
Everything
on. This
turns
is
on, it's
stupid.
bizarre.
Plus, you get cartoon sound effects when he throws in the bombs.
Yeah.
You get a whip.
And we get the bum 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 ba da ba da.
Yeah. Oh wait, there's pumpkins there.
Yeah.
That makes it Halloween.
Yeah, this Two-Face will never
Oh
do
God,
this.
good point. Yeah, because I mean, it's an interesting theory that he's trying out Batman, Chase Meridian, and Bruce Wayne, but yeah, it's not executed well
Yeah.
at all. Because there's a bit where he goes, I think like he sees, I don't know, Chase Meridian and goes, and then flips the coin again. So you could argue maybe he's just trying to decide for Chase. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's also like getting agitated as well. Like he's also getting annoyed when he doesn't get the choice he wants. Because it kind of...
Yeah,
there we
because
go.
in The Dark Knight, when he flips the coin and gets the choice, he accepts it with no question.
That's what Two-Face would do. Yeah, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Good. Why does he spit? I don't get it.
Bong! Oh, I love it. I don't...
I hope he didn't get a boner in that suit because there's no
There's
hiding
no
it.
hiding it at all, is there? It's the same. Any superhero actor whose costume is tight
Plus,
spandex.
if you were wearing that suit, you wouldn't eat anything. You'd be
Yeah,
scared.
yeah. Joygasm. I've used that a lot as well. I quote that quite a bit.
I mean, I say the word fangasm.
Fangasm, yeah.
I had a proper fangasm.
Yeah, so yeah, he's clearly
Delighted that he
delighted
got
when he gets the
that,
one he
yeah.
wants.
I mean, he must be a really good or really bad shot if all it did was skim through his head.
Even so, as well, that's still your head must be quite injured falling down those stone steps. As well,
Don't kill him.
you won't learn nothing.
Like, he'll never learn. What, that you're Edward Nigma?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
That's so funny.
Plus, he wears a lot of turtlenecks in this.
Yeah, it's like in Gotham.
Yeah.
Bruce in Gotham wears so many turtlenecks. I can see what you mean about them. It was going to go down the route of losing his memory because the close-ups on the eye and everything. It seems like this would have been the.
Well, now he's got a. Yeah, maybe it was supposed to come in between because obviously he's woken up in bed. But it's saying, "How are you?" So yeah, he says you haven't called me that for a long time. So yeah.
Master Dick has run away. The cave has been destroyed.
Only for him to come back in the next scene. Also, the bat suit you see Kilmer wear for the final battle is Christian Bale wore that suit for his screen test.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so did Cillian Murphy as
Yeah.
well.
It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night.
I mean, I have a light-up Christmas jumper.
Yeah, so do I.
So I wouldn't say no to a
Batman,
I wouldn't say no to a light-up Riddler costume.
coming for you.
No, Jim, you're not playing Ebenezer Scrooge yet.
I know a lot of people hate that version of A Christmas Carol. I love it. It's one of my favourites.
I like it as well. I saw it in the cinemas when it came out.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the cinemas, but I saw it not long after it came out on Blu-ray.
It's always shown at Christmas time.
It's one of my favourite versions of it.
It's probably not one of my favourites, but visually it's fantastic.
I really like Jim Carrey as Scrooge as well.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of him playing the ghosts, because the Ghost of Christmas Present just laughs way too much. He has a really weird Yorkshire accent.
Yeah.
Come in, Scrooge, and know me better, man.
That's a very, very good. I think it's a cool idea for him to play the ghosts. To be honest, though, for years I didn't realise it was him.
Yeah, I didn't. I always thought he was just Scrooge, but that surprised me. Yeah, these riddles, like, it's just to tell him that you're Mr. that it's Edward Nigma, so what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. You could bypass a lot of this.
When the Dark Knight, you have a character called Coleman Reese, and people call him Mr. Reese, which sounds like mysteries, and he figures out Batman's identity, and people have theorised that he's Nolan's version of the Riddler.
That'd be quite cool, actually.
Plus, I think he has ginger hair, so
yeah, that's
could
true.
be a nice callback to this.
Oh, here's the new suit.
Here we go. The
big old arse shot. It's very, very silver.
And that's a really big cod piece.
Oh, good old Joel. He loves it. He loves his male forms. The Robin suit is pretty cool, to be fair. I think.
Yeah, I much prefer this one because it's like an updated version of the comic suit and also his circus suit.
I'd prefer it if the colours were a bit brighter. But apart from that.
But then again, when you're fighting crime, you do want to have stealth on your side.
Yeah, that's true.
Wearing bright colours is not the best camouflage.
A partner. God, the score is great. I really love it. Yeah.
Bat plane, bat boat.
By sea or by air. Wayne Manor looks quite cool as well. Here we go. Here's the go. He's not coming. Run it down.
Yeah, because earlier he said, where's it coming from? Well, I don't know. The big fucking island with the blender in the middle.
What villain loves question marks? And then he clocks it. He goes, the Riddler.
How did this... I mean, is this guy Chief Wiggum? Because he kind of looks like him.
He's happy. Go. And here's the famous gif.
Don't worry, folks. Oh god, there it is.
Look like, I don't know. It doesn't look like Batman's own hand. It looks like a fake hand coming up from the bottom of the script from underneath him.
Yeah, plus he can't see you.
Yeah. The score is great. I really love Elliot Goldenfall's music. Actually, I think it's so sort of different and.
Also, this video game is quite similar to Superman 3.
Yeah.
And also, Superman 3 and this, they were both co-written by a husband and wife couple.
Oh, that's interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's amazing how similar the first 4 Superman and Batman films are similar in terms of production, quality,
the way things go,
and how they match each other.
Mm-hmm. God, I always notice it as well. It always takes me off guard that the bat ears on this new silver bat suit are like sort of cut off at the top and diagonal. I notice it every time, and it always sort of takes me by surprise because they just look really weird.
Yeah, there goes the bat.
Yeah, it was on screen for all of 5 seconds, but you can buy a toy of it at your local toy store. Give us the money.
Also, it's weird. With the Schumacher films, you couldn't get them independently. But with the Burton films, you can on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But with these, you had to get them in the anthology set, which is what I've got. But they've released them independently on 4K.
Yeah, and also the remastered Blu-rays are independently as well. You can get the new Blu-ray versions independently, which is nice.
Mm.
The covers are awful though for the 4K and the remastered Blu-ray. The cover is really bad for all 4 of them. I don't know if you've seen the way they look, but they're just so lazy.
Yeah, I've seen the 4K ones.
They're weird.
Yeah. It's like put Batman and the main villain on it and put on an awful colour Instagram
filter. I don't understand why they couldn't have just used something similar to what the anthology used, which is what we're watching, or just the original posters.
The different bat symbols.
Yeah, or just the original posters. I don't get the reluctance to use the original.
Yeah, he clearly keeps them alive. He doesn't kill them.
That's clearly not Chris O'Donnell in the water.
Oh yeah,
it's so obvious.
Also, those criminals trapped in the net reminds me of that scene from The Simpsons. Now we got on a yacht, we get captured by pirates. Nice one, Homer. Shut up, Nickface. You're in the net too. He said, "Shut up, Nickface."
Oh, holy rusted metal.
Oh.
It's all metal. It's full of holes, you know. Holy.
Just a reminder, lines like "I'll get drive-through," "Chicks dig the car," "Are you trying to get under my cape?" They're okay, but saying "Holy something something
Has to be
Batman," that's
explained.
too far. We're above that.
Is this the way Batman goes? What? Huh?
He's like, oh,
Oh.
uh,
See, I've always had a problem with this finale because the way it is with all the fog and the green lighting and everything, you can't really tell where they are and
what's
how they're
going
getting
on?
in. It's difficult to sort of tell geographically where they are in the scene. It's
Plus, this looks like a. No, this looks like a game show.
yeah, it does.
Then again, when you play the Riddler trophies in the Arkham games, it does look like
Yeah. There's a sense of
that. The
theatricality.
question marks everywhere. It was my mother, my father, my brother,
This is for
my
me.
cousin, my aunt, my uncle, my pet dog,
Second cousin.
my pet cat, my third cousin's brother's wife, stepniece.
That headbutt, that was another thing that the BBFC took massive issue with. As always, with headbutts.
Yeah, because on the Blu-ray, this is rated at 12.
Yes, for years it was a PG, because it was just cut for years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, I don't know if you ever noticed this, there's a lot of reversed footage of Batman in sort of this section. Of him just looking up.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I mean, you can clearly climb back up.
Yeah. I'd rather see you in jail.
That's not as epic.
Not threatening.
What he should have said is, "I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you." And
Yeah.
walked away. Also, the climax coming up where he has to choose between Chase Meridian and Robin, that more or less it's weird how Spider-Man and the Dark Knight took influence from
Yeah.
that. You have to choose between one of these.
Let die the woman you love, or suffer the little children.
Make your choice, Spider-Man.
We are who we choose to be. Now choose. You never know when some lunatic will come along with a sadistic choice. Oh, here we go.
We have to do those films eventually.
Yeah. Riddle me that
Oh, another Riddler suit.
big black bat.
Because I didn't notice this until I watched it recently, but when his suit's been destroyed and he's like, "Why can't I kill you?" If you look at his head, it's a lot bigger, as if he's took in all the
Yes.
knowledge and it's overloaded his brain.
It's cool. It used to creep me out when I was younger, seeing like his melted sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Who's controlling all these lights? Does he just have like what the Penguin had in the second film, where it's just some really bored-looking woman on at a control screen?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he predicted cyber terrorism.
Yeah. God am I. Where does that come from?
I
Does it
don't
have a voice
know.
modulator?
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, this whole thing. It looks like a
Looks like a club.
game show.
Yeah.
A tacky game show. Actually, yeah, it does look like a
Yeah.
club. I've been to quite a few. In fact, earlier when we saw the fog and the green, that looks like a club I've been to.
No, really?
Yeah, because there's a gay club where I'm at, and they have lights and fog that they release, and it's really cool.
Fair enough. Again, very stereotypically feminine. She enjoys getting her nails done.
Yeah. Also, he says of Robin, he likes celery morning cartoons and dreams of being bare naked with a girl.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
25.
exactly.
If he was 15, I could have accepted this, but no.
Also, he called her fat. He called him Fat Man then.
Yeah.
Fat Man and Boy Blunder. Ah, did you see then? His eyes already had the visors down.
Think so,
Because he
yeah.
puts the visors down to throw the batarang. He already had them down then.
Ah.
See, this is a proper like old school comic books like the hero's friends are in cages. We have to save them and stuff, and I kind of love it for that.
But also, but if there were, the film was a lot more consistent, it would have thematically tied into the fact that he's fighting both being Bruce Wayne and Batman and trying to have them coexist.
That's a good point. That's a very good point, yeah.
Right, even if you're concentrating really, really hard on this riddle, there's no way you can't see him doing this.
You're as blind as a bat. Exactly.
Yeah, it's smile he gave. Why does he need the visors? I don't. Oh, is it to save him from protect him from the light and the explosion?
I don't know. He says he's as blind as a bat,
Yeah.
so I think it's like a
And then
sonar thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's just, in reality, it's an excuse to make another toy. The CGI here looks a bit off.
Yeah, and why does he say bummer?
Bummer. It's a shame because the CGI is held up fairly well, but that looks very sort of 90s.
Her skirt blew up then.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining.
God, yeah, it's really getting close to it, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
need to be careful how they shoot this.
Any minute.
This is a family
now.
film. It's supposed to be a family-friendly
Mhm.
Batman film. Let's calm down.
Yeah, it's weird how they were told to make it more family friendly, but you've got Chase Meridian's dialogue.
Yeah. And
Who lusts after
and
Batman.
how sort of homoerotic it is and everything. Yeah, it's
Also, the way Two-Face is defeated here, it's again another reference to the animated series because he uses
exactly.
the coins to confuse him.
Yeah, here's another reverse shot with Batman looking up and down at the thing. It's so clearly reversed and played back at the normal speed again.
Mhm.
He just pops up out of nowhere.
Because he's Two-Face.
Sounds like Syl from Doctor Who.
Also, those coins he throws, they look like chocolate ones.
Yeah.
I want a chocolate coin.
He kind of got serious then again for a minute, Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face. We saw a little glimpse there
Yeah.
when he went, oh yes, of course you're right, Bruce, and everything.
Like, he clearly murders him
Yes.
here. He knew what would have happened, and he makes no attempt to
Yeah.
grapple him with the batarang. So
Cool detail that Robin's got the Robin symbol in his mask.
yeah, he does. But it's weird. You see his suit in Batman and Robin. So did he survive?
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. You see his
Yeah,
brain
it's-
all
It's
big
like
and
protruding from his head and stuff.
Did you want to kill
Yeah.
him?
See, this is one of the best parts of the film. Both Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, because the way he screams.
Yeah,
it's like he's about to do something
haunting.
terrifying.
Really scared me as a kid. And that line, both Bruce Wayne and Batman now because I choose to be. That's awesome. I really love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is.
That's a very... It really creeped me out, like this whole bit with him melted and everything. Back at Arkham. I'm pretty sure that's a reused shot from the deleted version of the opening.
I think so as well.
Also, this is the only Batman film that's actually done a really good Arkham Asylum on screen. Because a comic book accurate one.
Yeah, because in Batman and Robin, it's just shit.
And in the Dark Knight trilogy, it's basically just a mental hospital, which obviously fits with that universe. But this is very comic book Arkham Asylum. I really like it.
And quite gothic as well.
Yeah, it's really gothic. Who is it? It's not.
I mean, yeah, he now thinks he's Batman, but Sugar and Spice, Two-Face's henchgirls, they know he's Batman.
They're just gone.
You're gonna arrest them?
Because the last we saw of them, they were screaming as the big thing exploded. So presumably they died in the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Yeah, I noticed he's got a bandage on his head, so reference to his head getting bigger.
And his eyes are like purple and red as well. It's hard to pick up because of the lighting, but his eyes look like they've been sort of injured.
Well, originally in Batman and Robin, when Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy escape, originally Schumacher wanted old villains from their cells watching them escape.
Would have been cool.
But the thing is, only Riddler is in there.
Yeah.
As far as we know. The Joker's dead, Penguin's dead, Catwoman is free,
Somewhere.
and Two-Face is dead, so...
It was a mistake to kill the Joker off in the first film. I think it was a mistake to kill him off.
So I like how in the animated series, obviously he keeps getting captured, and they even make it into a running joke. He's like, oh well, Arkham is nice this time of year.
I like it in the Scarecrow episode we talked about earlier with Fear of Victory. There is a bit where they go to Arkham and you see the Joker and a few of the other villains sort of watching them walk through and stuff.
Heck, there's also it's at the end of Riddler's Reform when he's shouting in his cell, how did he solve it? I have to know. You can see the villains like cool. Putting their hands over their ears like, shut up.
So
that's really cool.
I love this ending with them running.
Yeah,
the
it
camera.
is cool. The bat symbol.
And that's something I love about the Schumacher films is how symmetrical they are with their openings and their closings. I think it's cool that they're sort of...
And that's the end of the original Batman films. We now move on to Batman Begins.
Yeah, Gossip Gertie, Elizabeth Sanders.
Yeah, there it is, assistant Jon Favreau.
That's cool. I've never noticed him in this before. So, right.
Is this the Seal song?
No, the Seal song's... This is what I mean. The Seal song is at the end of the credits. And considering that is like known as the Batman Forever song, like it's always brought up, you would think that would be the one at the start of the credits, but it's not. It's only played for a really short time at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Project consultant Bob Kane again.
Cricket Roland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't like it when they put a song at the end of like a rock song like this. They should put the main theme.
Yeah,
on.
They should.
Because they do it with the Dark Knight films.
This is Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, I think, this song. In fact, yes, it is.
Is it by the Smashing Pumpkins?
I think it is, yeah.
Just reminds me of The Simpsons. Billy Corrigan smashing
Homer
pumpkins.
Simpson.
Homer Simpson smiling politely.
I love that.
Thanks to your gloomy music, you've given my kids a future that I can't even afford.
I love that. Rick Baker.
Rick Baker, what's he done?
He's the he's a makeup consultant, I believe. My mind's totally blanking. Let me have a look because he's very famous and very well known. My mind is totally blanking. What is wrong with me? Rick Baker. Yeah, he's a special makeup effects creator and actor. He's he did the Grinch makeup. He's done Men in Black.
Cool.
The Exorcist, Star Wars, Gremlins.
He played
Gremlins and
King
Gremlins
Kong
2.
in 1976.
Yeah. X-Men. He's done loads of things. Here's the Seal song.
Coming up now.
Used to be a grey tower. This song's about cocaine. That's not me.
In a Batman
Yeah,
film.
that's not me joking. If you listen to the lyrics, don't you know that when it snows, my eyes become wide? The more I get of you, the stranger it feels. It's about cocaine. Baby. The music video for this is interesting. It's just the edits are it's literally just Seal in front of the bat signal singing, but some of the edits where they edit in clips of the film are really weird. So that's it.
Yeah, that's all for Batman Forever.
I really like it. I like Batman Forever a lot. I
don't hate it, but
I think I like it more than you.
With knowing, knowing what its extended cut is supposedly about, it could have been a lot.
Yeah, I think the extended cut.
Fingers crossed, we do get
Hopefully.
An extended cut one day.
I really like. I like it. It's fun. It's comic booky. It's colourful. I don't have many major problems with it, to be honest. But I can see why people do have issues with it. But for me, yeah, I think it's very underrated.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. We will be back not next week because I won't have access to my computer next week, so it'll probably be the week after if that's all right with you.
Yeah, fine with me.
We will be back in a couple of weeks with Batman and Robin. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a lot to say about that. That should be fun. But
me too.
If you did enjoy this, like, subscribe, comment, and go subscribe to Isaac. I'll again leave a link to his channel in the description. Thank you once again for joining me.
Thank you very much for listening, and I shall say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.